Trump's trade triumph, or is it too good to be true? As President Donald Trump prepares to return from Scotland following a high-stakes round of international trade talks, his administration is hailing what it calls a historic agreement with the European Union. Yet, behind the celebratory headlines, significant doubts remain about the EU's ability to fulfill its headline-grabbing promise of $600 billion in U.S. investments. President Trump, currently spending the morning on a golf course before his evening return to the White House, told reporters that the deal marked one of the most important economic arrangements of his presidency. "We signed a very big deal with the European Union and the United Kingdom," Trump said. "It's a very important deal for the country and for everyone." The United Kingdom had already entered into a separate agreement last week, also framed as a major trade win. However, while the administration touts this string of victories, the European Union's own internal limitations are beginning to complicate the narrative. According to multiple EU officials, the $600 billion investment figure widely reported by US media is based entirely on voluntary private sector commitments, not direct government funding. As such, Brussels may have overpromised, given it lacks the legal authority to enforce or deliver such private investments on behalf of the bloc's member states. Despite that, Trump administration officials remain optimistic. Caroline Leavitt, a White House spokesperson, praised the president's negotiating success, noting that European markets will now be more accessible to American-made goods. She added that Trump expects the EU to follow through on its bold new commitments. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross expanded on the deal structure, stating that the EU had collected investment pledges from major sectors, including pharmaceuticals and automotive manufacturing, and presented them as part of the agreement with President Trump. The EU brought together all of its companies and said, "We're committed to making $600 billion in additional investments in America," Ross said. Still, skepticism is mounting, particularly over whether these corporate pledges will materialize into actual investments or remain aspirational figures. Meanwhile, aboard Air Force One, Trump is expected to receive a briefing on separate trade talks taking place with Chinese negotiators in Stockholm. While the EU deal steals headlines, early reports suggest that progress on the China front is moving at a much slower pace. As Trump returns home, the administration faces the challenge of turning rhetorical wins into tangible economic outcomes, a familiar test in the unpredictable terrain of international trade diplomacy.